So we'll be moving to the questions now. The first question. A common defense tactic in sexual assault and domestic violence trials. What is it called? Yeah, Tushar, I think you raised your hand.
The answer.
I didn't hear you.
The answer is self-defense.
No. Okay, anybody else who knows the answer? Okay. Maybe another 3 seconds more. Okay, so the answer is DARVO. That is defense, attack, and reverse of victim and offender. So that is the answer. It's called DARVO. So moving on to the next question. Abbreviation of HIMARS. Okay, so since nobody knows the answer, it is High Mobility Artillery Rocket System.
I got to know just now only. I was supposed to say.
But I think
Actually, he's searching online. So he got to know
No,
answer
sir.
now.
I was confused with I. I means what does I recognize it, sir? I know MARS, but
HI together
okay.
was high.
Yeah.
Which I can say what it is related to also once you tell the answer, how it is related, what it is related, you can tell that also.
Okay, sir. So when it comes to DARVO, that was the answer to the previous question. Recently, I don't know if you all are aware that Johnny Depp, he won the case in the US court. So he lost in the UK court, and later he went to US court and approached against his so-called wife, Amber Heard. And there, it seems that Amber Heard, she claimed that Johnny Depp, used to assault her, or she was a victim. Whereas the US lawyers who fought in the court for Johnny Depp, they said that it's a very common or a very usual tactic that people use. It's a common trick that people use, that they reverse the offender and defender. It is said that Johnny Depp was the one who was a victim there, and Amber just reversed the situation to her convenience, and it seems it happened that way. So yeah, that is where I got this term DARVO, and I thought, why not frame a question? So coming to HIMARS, it is where Russia-Ukraine war has still not come to an end, a total end. It's not yet reached. So when it said that US said they're ready to supply this HIMARS to Ukraine, so Russia reacted saying that you are being stupid or something like that. I don't remember the exact word, but they reacted in a little rude way, I can say. So from there, I got this. And yeah, so we'll move to the next question. Okay, so before that, HIMARS is a rocket launching system. It is used in defense machineries and things like that. It's a defense tool, you can say. Yeah, so the third question, what is the official Academy song of NDA, which stands for National Defense Academy? Okay, so the answer is, I think, Ruqayya, you wanted to say? I'm sorry, your voice is not audible. I mean, it's not clear enough. No. Kubra, you have raised, you can answer.
Yuva.
You are somewhere close to the answer. Somewhere close. It is, I think, kind of a title that is given, but not exactly the answer. So anybody who knows the exact answer? Except Augustine sir. So yeah, nobody? All right. So the exact answer is Hum Hai Cadet NDA. So it's a Hindi song. Definitely, it is an official language. Hindi is our nation's official language. So it'll be in that terms, in the language Hindi. And recently, I think 4 days back or 3 days back, from NDA Pune, the batch just graduated and they were recruited into the Army, Air Force, as well as Navy. And yeah, it was telecasted in DD National, and the whole scene was, their whole graduation process was telecasted, and it was a very beautiful thing to see, I must admit. But yeah, it's very long, very lengthy, but it's really nice to see that. So over there, when these graduates were to come out from their institute onto the ground where the ceremony was held, they were marching, they marched, they always come through a march fast. So while they were marching, this song was being played by the band, the army band. So that time it happened that the speaker, clearly mentioned this, the host of the event, of the graduation ceremony, clearly mentioned that they are marching towards the academy's official song, Hum Hai Cadet NDA. So that is where I got this piece of information. And let's move to the next question. Fourth question. Which project was started on 30th of May 2022 by the PM of India through a video conferencing? Okay. So anybody who knows the answer? Nobody? All right, no worries. So the answer to this question is PM Cares for Children Yojana. So this was started on 30th of May through a video conferencing by Shri Narendra Modi, our current PM of India. And yeah, this Yojana, this project is for those kids who have become orphans because of losing their parents to COVID. Their parents were a COVID patient and they lost their lives, and now the children have become orphan. So for them, that is why the name PM Cares for Children. So it is just it's an initiative to tell those children that you don't have to worry, you don't have to feel there is nobody or what is going to happen to you further. No, you don't have to worry about it. Government is there to look into that. So this was an initiative for that. And so moving on to the next question. Fifth question. Who is the current Education Minister of Karnataka? All right. So the answer is B.
Full name. Hello?
Yeah, yes, I could go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know his full name, but some Baswarajan something is there, I guess.
Velur.
Yes, I could. Yeah, Kubra, go ahead. You were saying something.
Velur Chandrasekhaya Nagaya something.
Where I think somewhere close by. You're somewhere around it, I can say. So anybody else would like to give it a try?
It's BC Nagesh. He's from Tiptur constituency.
Yeah. So why his name in this week's news analysis or news summary? Why his name and question here? The thing is this: there is a textbook row that I don't know if you all are aware that's going on in the state. Many are fighting some chapters which are introduced in the Kannada, especially Kannada textbook syllabus. Maybe it's about Basavanna, or maybe about Tipu Sultan, or maybe even in the social studies textbooks regarding the Mughals, or maybe the Hindu kings, or anybody for that matter. So there is a very big issue going on. They are saying this should be a part of the syllabus, this shouldn't be a part of the syllabus. And you know, in Indian system, it is always like this. One says A, the other should say B or Z. It cannot be anything else. So one says this, the other will definitely oppose it. So with that, it is just going on. So till now, it's not come to an end. It's been some time since this textbook row is going on. So it reached the Chief Minister of Karnataka. He is Mr. Basvaraj Bommai. And he said that he will give a report soon. He has instructed the Education Minister of Karnataka to give a report ASAP, as soon as possible. So that is where his name comes, BC Nagesh, Education Minister of Karnataka. So next question. The sixth question. In 2022 UPSC exam, who is the state topper of Karnataka and from which district? Yeah, somebody raised their hand. Yeah, Saiko.
I don't know, but she is the female, and I heard the name some Purva something, but I don't know district Purva or Apurva kind.
No, the answer is wrong. I'm really sorry for that, Saiko. But yeah, I will mention, if anybody wants to give it a try, you can try. You can still try. All right. So fine, I can answer. The person is Avinash. Okay, he's Avinash from Davangere district. And do you know his ranking in UPSC? AIR 31, All India ranking 31. So he is Avinash and he's from Davangere district. So moving on to the next question. The seventh question. NASA has recently partnered with 2 industries for new spacewalking and moonwalking services. Which are those 2 industries? Anybody who knows the answer? All right. Fine. I shall answer. It is 2 industries. One is Axiom Space, and Collins Aerospace. So NASA, they wanted to try a lot of, I don't know if you're aware, there is something called as spacewalk that goes on. Astronauts, when they land into the space, okay, through rockets, are you aware of International Space Station, ISS? Not ISIS, ISS. So ISS is International Space Station. So they have, it's a huge place kind of a thing they have built, and there are sections or divisions in it. So one is for Indian astronauts, one is for Russian astronauts, one is for Japanese, American, etc., astronauts. So from here, when they go into the space, they've made an ideal place where they can land or park their rockets, just like how you go to any place. For example, you are a VIP, then you will be provided, good parking facilities, good transport facilities as well. They will book the cab for you. Then there will be a wallet parking. Okay, so you can go and they can park your vehicle there. So this ISS is something like that. They can go and park their rockets over there. It's not parking, it is said to be landing. So yeah, they will go and land the rockets over there. And after that, they will get into the space station, and for some time it's a place where you can relax. There is a washroom, there is a facility to even take a shower, And yeah, there are a lot of food bags that they carry and all of that. So when they go, astronauts, like as you people go for trekking or something like that, mountain climbing and all, they have some adventurous activity called as spacewalking. They walk around the space. There is no gravity. So you must understand you cannot walk as you walk here. So they'll be trained and they cover some huge amount of distance, huge kilometers together. And that is called spacewalking. And you walk around the moon, not on the moon, around the moon. It's called moonwalking. So for these things, they're trying to make certain facilities, maybe in terms of their suits, the astronaut suits, or maybe in terms of their gadgets, whatever they can do, or any sort of technology that they can use and make the astronauts experience better in these fields. So that is why NASA has partnered with two industries very recently. And yeah, I've mentioned the two industries. So we'll move on to the next question. 8th question. What is ISRO's next target? Somebody raised, Tushar, you can go ahead.
I'm not sure about the name of the mission, but it's regarding exploring the sun.
No.
I guess exploring the Venus.
You're right. I think Harsh, you also raised your hand.
Chandrayaan 3.
No.
I have heard this news someday.
Yeah, Chandrayaan 3 is also on the list. As Tushar said, even sun, exploring sun is also on the list. But their first target right now is mission Venus Orbiter, that is to land on Venus and to explore Venus. Just before this, they had mission Mangalyaan. There was a whole movie that was framed on this mission Mangalyaan. I hope you guys are aware of it, I think. If not, then
Yeah.
So yes, if not, then I must tell you, please go and watch the songs. Maybe the movie is not available online, but you can watch the songs. Very nice and beautiful portrayal of what the scientists undergo. It is put nicely over there. How they set up a laboratory all of a sudden, a space laboratory, and how they start working on it. It is nice. And in case you want some nice dialogues, you say you're a science person and you want to have some nice science dialogues when you reply to somebody rather than giving a very cliche savage dialogue, you can refer those videos. They have nice science, dialogues over there. So it's really nice, I must say that. So just after mission Mangalyaan, that is mission Mars, they plan for mission Venus, because I think in the upcoming year, their timeline is by December 2024. Because by December 2024, Venus will be closer to Earth. When it's orbiting, when both Earth and Venus is orbiting around the sun, they'll be somewhere closer. That's the closest distance they can have. So if at all they lose this time of 2024, then only after 7 years from 2024, they will get a chance to do it. Otherwise, then they'll have to spend a lot on propellant, fuels, and so on. Propellant is a fuel for the rocket. So they'll have to spend a lot on that. So whenever they do these kind of experiments or these kind of missions, they always observe and calculate at what time it is the best with less propellant that they can land and do things in a much more better and efficient way. Efficiency is the talk today everywhere in all technological fields. So that is their current next target as of now. That is a timeline. December 2024 is their timeline. Because this, if they miss, then it's only after 7 years. So that will be a little, risky for them. So that is their target. Next question. Yes. Researchers have established the sea urchin species as a new model for genetic research. What is the name of that species? I'm guessing this might be a little difficult name for you all to pronounce. So maybe out of, you can pronounce something little, we can still consider it. Anybody? At least some sort of an approximation? Okay, so the answer is Temnoplurus reevesi. Okay, so sea urchin is what you can see in this first picture that I'm pointing out here. This is how it is found in the sea. Okay, so this is not any plant or it's not a dead thing. It is something that is alive. Nowadays, lot many research is going on in marine field, especially for medicines. You will know it. I think shortly we'll be talking about marine medicine as well. So when I come to that, I will talk about that as well. So this is so the first two pictures is something called a sea urchin. So for genetic research, they found a new model or a new species. So since it's just very recently, it is found probably 3-4 days back or something. So they're still on experiments with it, and there's still, not much of an information, but this is what it is. This is a small summary. All that you can find is a small summary. So this is where I grabbed. I think it's from, I forgot the research institute name, but it's from their website. I found it. So moving on to the next question. The 10th question. Which marine invertebrates do the dolphins use to cure their skin conditions? Trust me, the answer is very simple, but you're not aware. All of you are aware of what it is, but you're not aware this is the answer.
Cycle is searching the answer. Cycle is searching the answer.
No, sir. Even Google failed to give the answer. So hard.
Yeah.
I think time is over.
Time is anyways over. So yeah, this question actually Google can give the answer. The previous question, it's difficult for Google to give the answer because I had to go to the research institute. I had to type for a marine research institute, and from their website I had to search what all was the top headlines. From that headlines, the one of the thing was on sea urchin, and I got it that way. But this you will actually find it. It's pretty easy to find. So since Cycle, you said Google also failed to give the answer, you were Googling the answers all this while. So never mind, we still understand. We understand all
No,
of us as
actually, I'm
students.
getting the answer from the Google, but I'm not telling the answer, giving the chance to others.
What great personality we have. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's okay, we understand. After all of us are still students. We are still learning. So it is okay, it's fine. So yeah, the answer to this question, the 10th question is coral. You've heard of coral or coral reefs? CORAL, coral. Most of you would have heard or you're aware of it. It's a skeleton kind of a structure. It is something that is alive. Okay, so what dolphins do? You can see the second picture is of a dolphin. Okay, this dolphin is not healthy. It has few skin conditions. In fact, there was another picture which was even more worse to see. Seeing this, I really felt bad for the dolphins. I really felt bad. And I thought I initially added the other picture. Then I thought, no, I will remove it. I don't know how many of them will feel disturbed looking at the picture. So this is a dolphin which is being brought to the lab or to a recovery center where they are trying to see on how they can treat this dolphin. So don't worry, it is not dead dolphin. It was an alive dolphin. So yeah, this is how bad it looks, and it's even more worst. They undergo such very bad skin conditions, even being underwater. So what these dolphins do is, when coral reefs, these corals are something which are stagnant in water. Okay, they don't move. Like sea urchins can still move, but these coral reefs are something like a skeleton kind of a thing, like how you find shells. So coral reefs are something like that. It looks somewhat like that, some designed kind of shell. So they're stagnant in one place, and these dolphins go there and they rub their entire skin. When it comes to dolphins, they rub their entire skin, or wherever they have these skin issues, they go to that coral reef and they start rubbing their skin to that reef. So it is found that it is helping the dolphins cure. So, and yeah, these corals are not dead. They are also alive. There is some constant flow and supply of oxygen in and around the corals. That is the latest discovery they have found. I think just 2 days back or 2.5 days back, I guess it was found. And yeah, so that is how it goes. That is how they found out about corals. And there's a huge search that is going on now. There is a whole international team who developed few particles which can be put underwater near the corals, so they can measure how much amount of oxygen and water and other contents these corals are circulating around them. So that is the latest research that's going on in marine technology. And yeah, so that was all about these 10 questions. Okay, so how many forms of classical dances are there in India currently, and which are they? Anybody wants to answer? I mean, this is the easiest in this entire tiebreaker question. It's just a number,
No.
at least a number,
You want only the number or the name of the classical dances?
at least
No,
number.
if you're answering cycle, we read the names because we will search for the Google.
The names I know, one name's Kathakali, and only one names I know, and the total number is around 8.
I told you though, we know that even though you're not knowing all the types, you will answer it because we know you will search very quickly in Google.
No, sir.
In that case, we must appreciate Cycle because he has information literacy. The art of being able to search from Google and derive the information is called information literacy. I think any engineer from any field, irrespective of their field, they will need this skill. So Cycle, it's your duty now to train everybody on information literacy. Okay, so I'll give the answer to this question. Cycle was right in terms of number. The number is 8. Initially, it was 7. In the year 2011. Yeah.
2010.
2011, the 8th one was introduced. And 2011, that is when I was, I appeared for my first sem exam in dance for my BA Bharatnatyam. And so that is very recently they had included the 8th form. I'll be mentioning all of it and from where, which one and all. So yeah, this 8th one was then included. So when I took up my exams, it was a very recent inclusion. By now it's become all common and popular. So yeah, there are 8 classical dance forms. One is Bharatnatyam. All of you will definitely know this. It's got, famous worldwide, very famous. And the next is Kathak. That is the next famous one because the entire North India, it has an influence from the entire North India. It came from the Mughal invasions and the Sufi system as well as the Hindu tradition. It was a kind of a blend of both from which it started, Kathak. And so that is how Kathak came into existence. So if you see in Kathak, it is a Hindustani form of music and their dance is the Anarkali dance, the Anarkali dress when they dance. So that is again found in Sufism. You will find it very common with Sufi, this ones. And if you closely observe both Kathak as well as the Sufi art form, you will find similarities when it comes to the dance moves, movements, portrayal, depiction, all of these. So that is one thing. Initially, Kathak was not a dance form where people would stand and dance. They were called as Kathakars. They would sit on the stage, and as in how a song is going on, these Kathakars were the people who would sing the song. They will keep singing as and when they are singing. You've seen how people write shairis. So after writing, when they're reciting their shairi, they'll give few gestures, few hand gestures, few expressions. It turned out to be that way, where they would sit, they would sing a song, and in between the song, they'll keep making some gestures, some expressions. And slowly they saw other art forms and they felt, why not we also stand on our legs and do something? So that is when they start practicing, the leg work or the footwork. And yeah, they have a very intense but very beautiful footwork. and that is about Kathak. The third thing is Kuchipudi. Kuchipudi is commonly called as plate dance. So initially, the dancers are not put into the practice of dancing on a plate. They're made to dance on the ground. But after a certain stage, they are given a plate and they stand on that and they start dancing. To be very precise, extreme professionals, especially in ancient India or in olden times, it used to be that they would sprinkle rangoli powder or colors on the stage, and whatever the song is, whatever they are trying to portray or depict through dance with that song, they will move on the plate and they would create those designs on the stage with that colors or with that rangoli powder. So that is where a Kuchipudi dancer's talent was, put to test to that extent. So they had to be good, not just by drawing with hands, but standing on a plate and drawing it with the plate. So that is the third thing. And the fourth is Mohiniyattam. And that you would have seen, it's a very, belongs to Kerala. And another very famous thing is Kathakali. Kathakali, most of you will be relating it to Yakshagana. But Yakshagana is a folk form and Kathakali is this one, which is a classical form. So there also they have very heavy, intense makeup and costume. And as well as the training is also that intense. And yeah, it's really difficult to undergo that training. The next is Odissi. Odissi is mainly known for its aspect of lasya or the gracefulness. It has a lot of, body movements, body swinging. And yeah, it's a nice, beautiful form. It's originated from Orissa. And let me tell you, Bharatanatyam is originated simultaneously in two places, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. It hails from both places, and each of these states have their own respective styles. So there are different styles in Bharatanatyam. So I think this is a new piece of information for you all. There are new styles which are available in each of these forms. And the next is Manipuri. Manipuri, also called as drum dance, because the costume is in such a way they have a drum. The bottom end looks like a drum. It's a drum kind of costume. And most of the time, that Manipuri dance is based on Krishna and Krishna Leela, rather than Krishna Leela, specifically Ras Leela. So the whole dance goes that way, where there are many gopikas and only one Krishna as characters who come there and they dance. So to beautify or to enhance that, they have had such a nice drum costume. It's very beautiful to see, I must say, the costume. It's really nice. And the last one, which was very, very recently included, was Satirya from Assam. So that is, initially they treated it as a folk form, but if you people would have seen Bihu dance form, Satirya is somewhat similar to that. It resembles a little bit towards Bihu. So that is about this first tiebreaker. So moving on to the next. Which state has a credit of being the origin of two forms of classical dances? Anybody?
I guess Kerala.
You guessed or you Googled? That is a question I have.
No, I didn't Google. Trust me.
Good. Then you are absolutely right. It is Kerala. And those two art forms are Mohiniyattam and Kathakali. Both of these hail from Kerala itself. So each of these classical form has a place of origin. So Kerala is that state which has a credit. It has, many states have one feather. Kerala has two feathers on its cap. So it is Mohiniyattam and Kathakali. So moving to the next question. Okay, this might be a little difficult for you all to answer, but still let's try. It's a nice piece of information. Which rasa was included in Abhinaya Darpana but not found in Natya Shastra? This, I think even Google will, struggle a little bit. But Saikul, I don't know if you can try.
No, I'm not Googling at all.
No, you can. No, I'm telling you, you can still try Googling. Let me see. Let me just see to what extent Google can provide this. You can actually try.
Kamal Puja, he is sick, he's not able to Google. You give the answer.
Sir, is he sick or even his Google is sick?
Both.
Now he will fall again sick because of this question.
Puja, is it mercy?
No, it's not mercy. Mercy is not a part of rasa. Okay, I'll tell you what is a rasa also. I'll tell you. Anyways, it was a good try, Abhishek. Good try. Anybody else? Okay, so I'll give you the answer. But before that, what exactly is a rasa? Rasa is nothing but an expression. There is a difference between expression and emotion. So expression is the base. Okay, there is something called as navarasa. You all would have heard 9 types of expressions. So any emotion that a human wants to portray, okay, it will fall in either of these 9 expressions or some combination of these. It will fall in these categories only. So there are 2 textbooks, Abhinaya Darpana and Natya Shastra. So the first picture that you see on the slide is Natya Shastra. Natya Shastra was something that was written on palm leaves. It's a very old text, 2nd century BCE text. Okay, so it was a text from those days, and it seems at some point people lost the text, and some say they have gained it as well. But all the more, most of the contents of the text people still have it, and many translations are found and all of that. So Natya Shastra is the book. It is known as the art and science of dramaturgy. Dramaturgy is nothing but play production practice or theater practice, theatrics. You people know theater plays. So people, they dress up as actors, they by heart their roles, they practice. What you find as a movie production, okay? Instead of sitting with a movie and editing, if you can experience it live in front of your eyes, directly on spot, everything going on with the same sort of a setup and all of those things, that is theatrics. So in those days when people didn't have all these devices for editing and recording and things like that, people had play production practice or theatrics. So this book, Natya Shastra, is not one book. It is it's a series of volumes. So in that, there is one such volume which talks about dance, and that is precisely called as classical dance. The others, Bharatnatyam, Kathak, Kathakali, Mohiniyattam, Kuchipudi, etc., all the 8 things, they are forms of classical dance. They are inherited or derived from this main Natya Shastra. So that is about Abhinaya Darpana and Natya Shastra. So Abhinaya Darpana is a text solely for Bharatnatyam. So it is said Abhinaya Darpana was written by Nandikeshwara, or if you are aware of Shiva, Shiva had many ganas. So one of his gana was, or one of his disciple, ardent disciple, was Nandikeshwara, and Shiva is considered to be as a lord of dance. So Nandikeshwara, whenever he would get time, he would observe Shiva dancing, Devi Parvati joining, her dancing and all of that, and he wrote a text called Abhinaya Darpana. So that is the text, Bharatnatyam dancers are, putting it into practice even in today's this one. So rasa is something called as expression. So according to the author of Natya Shastra, the author is Bharata Muni, and he says there are only 8 rasas. He will not tell Navarasa. He has a concept of Ashtarasa, 8 rasas. And in Abhinaya Darpana, there is a concept called Navarasa or 9 rasas. So the one which is not included in Natya Shastra is Shantarasa. Shanta or calmness or meditativeness. So a person is calm. Patience is one sort of an emotion. Okay, not exactly. Precisely speaking about patience, it is you getting over the anger. That is, you might get angry, but that's not going to disturb you internally or externally. So that is actually patience, precisely speaking. So Shantarasa is one such rasa which is found in Abhinaya Darpana, but not in Natya Shastra. So the next question. Yeah. In the field of food science and technology, seaweed water capsules were invented to reduce what? Anybody?
To reduce plastic.
Yeah, right. So it is to reduce.
He Googled.
भाई ये Google नहीं है अरे sir. It is not Google sir. Everyone knows it sir.
Okay.
How
So
can a person Google sir within 2-3 seconds sir?
No, everyone knows who else answered except you.
Arey no sir.
okay.
I doubt question paper is leaked. I want this investigation to be done on this.
Sure, sir, you can go ahead. From my end, it is not leaked. So apart from me, you were the one who had the question bank as well as the answer set. So leaking from your end, that to cycle stays in your PG?
No, it's not that way. Maybe from internet he must have stolen, because when you passed on to me on internet, he must have stolen. He must have, got it through hacking. So I doubt his abilities.
Okay, so we'll interrogate cycle later for sure. We're not going to spare him for that. Okay, so the answer to this, as Cycle said, yes, it is to reduce plastic pollution. So since, people who get into marathons or long sprints, athletes, okay, they are the, ones who will need water bottles always with them. So especially during their practice and all that, they keep a small plastic water bottle or something with them. Usually you will find. So because it's more easy, lightweight, portable, and all of those capacities which plastic has. But that has had a severe impact over the years. So it is affecting the world in terms of plastic pollution. So the field of food science and technology, recently researchers have developed something called as water capsules. So it is, the outer cover is made up of seaweed. You can see the second picture. That is the capsule. There's a capsule. This is one single capsule. These are the capsules. So the outer cover to this is made up of seaweed, inside which they are able to store water. So the athletes or sports personalities or anybody, any common human for that matter, they can just consume it. Either they can swallow it if they're okay with that, or they can just cut or bite open that and consume the water in it and throw the outer cover in case you're not comfortable. But all the more it is seaweed, it is safe for humans to consume. So even if you push it inside your stomach, it is still fine. It is totally safe. And what about people who directly swallow? How will they get water? It will go to your stomach. Over there, the cover will get opened. The seaweed will crack or it will get opened, and water is given in that quantity to the body. So this is the latest thing from food science and technology. The next question. Yes. Gene edited tomatoes are found to produce which vitamin? You all know the answer. It's a very common vitamin. Again, you don't know, this is the answer to it. That's all. So anybody would like to try? Hardly there are few vitamins you need to think of. Who was it? I think Rukaya, was it you? Yeah. You said vitamin B. Yes. No, it's not B. Because B has many more. If you say B, you will have to be specific. B1, B2, B12, which one? B12. So no, it's not even B. It's not at all B. It's not B12. It's not at all
C.
It's not tomatoes.
Vitamin
Otherwise,
Vitamin K doesn't exist. Why
exists.
did you go to
Whatever
it exists.
vitamin B1 sir.
K exists.
I have not gone up to vitamin K. I have gone up to vitamin E. After E,
Yes.
we don't have.
Yeah, after E,
What is
you
the
don't
order?
have, directly you have K.
Okay. There is no F, G, H, I. Directly K we have. Okay.
Vitamin C, so it is, I guess.
No, it's
Vitamin
not.
C, how it can come from tomato? Tomato
No,
is
it is. No, tomato is otherwise rich in vitamin C. So why do they need to go for gene-edited tomatoes? Why should they edit the gene of or the genome category of the tomato? So any other idea? Anybody else? But good try, all of you. Kaya, Cycle, good try. Anybody else?
Gene-edited tomatoes are found to produce which vitamin?
Googling it.
No.
Yes, ketchup. They prepare ketchup out of this.
Sir, what about white?
So this one, vinegar. Vinegar is citric acid, so it is vitamin C only, sir.
It's not vitamin C. Okay. No, it's not A.
Vitamin A. Okay. Vitamin E.
Vitamin D. Only vitamin D is left. Vitamin D.
It's vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Yes. So when they tried to do the gene editing of tomato, they could find vitamin D is available. So why it is vitamin D, and why is it that food technology is emphasizing it? Because there are very, very few food sources for vitamin D. And even if those food sources are available, it is in very, very menial quantity. And vitamin D is known as sunshine vitamin. It is available from sun. So if you need sufficient amount of this vitamin D, you need to go out in the sun. I don't know if you're aware by, I don't know, I'm sure I have seen a live example right in front of my eyes of one person who was very healthy, very active, all fine, all good. But all of a sudden, from some point of time, couldn't even lift cooker. Otherwise would lift, lot many things, but couldn't even handle a cooker. Even an empty cooker, it was difficult to handle. Hands would pain because there was lack of vitamin D. When they conducted the tests, they went for a sufficient lot of tests. There in the vitamin D test, the value was very, very low, really low. So, and that person is on medication. Like every now and then they consume vitamin D tablets. There is vitamin D medicines available. So weekly once they consume it, and it comes in forms of strap. It's not a tablet. It is a thin sheet of medicine which looks like a tablet, very thin. They just have to take it and put it inside their mouth and let it dissolve. So that is how the medicine is. So please be aware, be cautious. Do not lose vitamin D for whatever reason. It can affect you like anything. I have seen, and person had to undergo a lot. It was not easy, but somehow with God's grace managed, and before it could get too serious, with God's grace, we could get the person to the right medication. So that is how it is. So that is why vitamin D, otherwise in food sources, you've heard of cod liver oil or sea cod. It is that oil which is found from fish thorn. If you see a fish, okay, if you've eaten fish, you will know when you eat the flesh of it, when the thorns are remaining, there is one main bone structure. Fish don't have bone, they only have thorns. So the main bone, the thick portion of it, if you can cut open, there is a small liquid, very small quantity of liquid. Or else you can find this with cats. If you give it to a cat, it'll not eat anything else. If you give this, it's more than enough for it. This main thorn, if you can give, and it'll cut, it'll break open and it'll suck the liquid which is there. So that is called as cod liver oil. This oil is found to produce some amount of vitamin D, but okay, not so huge, but fine. And another source is almonds. Okay, badam, almonds. So they have very, very menial quantity. Maybe walnuts also can have. I'm still not sure about walnut, but almonds, yes, they have, but very less quantity. So yeah, that is why it's otherwise there is no other food source, I think, where vitamin D is available. So that is a reason food technology is emphasized on vitamin D. And yeah, with this, the tiebreakers end. One more small piece of information. Today is World Environment Day. that is June 5th. Every year it is, celebrated worldwide, International World Environment Day. And for this year, that is the year 2022, the theme that is internationally proposed for World Environment Day is Only One Earth. The hashtag is hashtag Only One Earth. Tagline is we have hashtag Only One Earth. So save it. Yes, it is very much necessary for us to think about this. It's World Environment Day. If we don't protect the environment, if we don't save our planet today, we will not be saved by the planet tomorrow. So that is something we'll all have to think of, be cautious and consciously work towards it. It could include all aspects in terms of flora, fauna, in terms of marine, atmosphere, anything and everything that a human might, or any living being might need to survive on this planet. That is about environment, World Environment Day. And to me, this day is always a special day because from my school days, we used to celebrate this. And every year in my school, this used to be the first event. Once the academic year has started, June 5th was the first event we would have. And yeah, so this was the first event I would always participate in my school. So it has always been close to me. And every year, even today, I recall this date. And with that, I would like to thank all the environmentalists who have tried their best, who have been active throughout their lifetime to, bring some sort of an awareness and, protect the environment. So with that, wishing you all a very happy World Environment Day. Hope you also can do something small from your end, which can have a bigger impact cumulatively. And with this, thank you and have a great time.